or visit a Quest store today.
Hillary Clinton was a candidate for the Senate. Former President Clinton's friend and top fundraiser becomes the new chairman of the Democratic Party. Not all Democrats are happy.
We make up the base of this party, and we're tired of being overlooked.
Saving lives on the slopes, cutting-edge technology that could help victims survive a deadly avalanche. And he saved his team from bankruptcy. Now hockey's only owner-player revives the sport he loves.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Saturday.
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Vargas. We begin tonight with the former first couple and the controversy surrounding the gifts they received while in their last days in the White House. The Clintons now say they will pay for those gifts. Indication sources say that the Clintons are concerned about the political implications for the First Lady turned senator. Here's ABC's Jim Sciutto.
2 weeks after leaving the White House, the Clintons are still doing damage control. The latest announcement that they will pay for $86,000 worth of gifts they received last year.
It was right for them to pay for the DVD player and the tables and the flatware and the china. That was the right thing to do.
On Friday, Senator Clinton said, quote, "I am fully committed to being the best senator I can possibly be for the people of New York."
She has a record to make, and this is damaging to her record.
The Clintons have been answering questions about 3 controversial moves. Mr. Clinton's $650,000 a year offices in New York. He now says his foundation will pay half. His pardon of fugitive financier Mark Rich. And the Clintons' decision to exit the White House with $190,000 in gifts, including furniture from Rich's ex-wife Denise and china from Hollywood couples Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw and Mary Steenburgen and Ted Danson, as well as thousands of dollars in gifts from Senator Clinton's New York constituents.
It may not be criminal. It may not be, even if you study it, entirely unethical. But it certainly is there the sense of terminal tackiness.
Do you solemnly swear?
Adding to the controversy, the fact that Mrs. Clinton accepted the gifts in the days before her swearing in as senator, when ethics rules prohibiting gifts larger than $50 each kicked in.
It would be an open and shut case. These gifts would not have been allowed, and that's that.
While the Clintons' decision to pay for the gifts might have ended this controversy, there is continuing pressure on Senator Clinton over her $8 million book advance from Simon & Schuster. The publisher is owned by Viacom, a company with millions of dollars of business coming before Congress. Jim Sciutto, ABC News, Washington. The Democratic Party elected its new chairman today. He is a close friend of former President Clinton and also was his top fundraiser. Ordinarily, the selection of a new party leader is not a matter of controversy, but this year was different. Here's ABC's Josh Gerstein.
Terry McAuliffe.
In the end, it was more of a coronation than an election, as Democrats chose their most prolific fundraiser, businessman Terry McAuliffe, to lead the party for the next 4 years.
We will show George Bush the door in 2004.
You're simply the best.
McAuliffe, who has raised hundreds of millions of dollars for Democratic candidates, was handpicked by former President Clinton. The two men have worked and played together for years. Yesterday, Senator Clinton turned up to endorse McAuliffe. But even some of the Clintons' most loyal supporters complained that McAuliffe was being forced on the party.
When the boys got in the back room and decided who they were going to anoint, we heard about it on CNN.
Former Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson today dropped his challenge to McAuliffe. Jackson had claimed the support of a majority of the African-American members of the Democratic National Committee. He questioned the wisdom of having a fundraiser lead the party.
Because the attitude is if you raise enough money, you've got enough big money, then money alone wins elections. And that's not true. Money is extremely important, but people are more important.
I honestly love you.
McAuliffe's all-out push for the job included a lavish party with singer Olivia Newton-John, a war room filled with young staffers, and even a campaign website, all of which seemed to underscore perceptions of him as a candidate of the establishment. But one analyst says a seasoned fundraiser is exactly what the Democrats need.
This job, it's not a symbolic job, it's not a ceremonial job, it's about raising money.
McAuliffe has promised to devote his first days on the job
to addressing the concerns of minority voters in Florida and elsewhere. But his installment at the helm of the Democratic Party shows that with the White House in Republican hands, what Democrats really fear is losing the money race. Josh Gerstein, ABC News, Washington.
The $1.6 trillion tax cut package that was the centerpiece of President Bush's campaign was the focus of his radio address today. The president will spend much of this week promoting the plan, which he will send to Congress on Thursday. California remains under a power alert tonight. Blackouts continue to threaten residents, but the alarm over California's power supply is spreading well beyond that state. ABC's Neil Karlinski reports.
In the mountains of the Pacific Northwest this week, snowpack measurements are revealing a growing problem in the pursuit for more electricity. The readings show the snowpack is less than 1/2 its normal depth, which means hydroelectric power plants are running out of water. And there's more bad news. A new NASA animation shows the weather trend known as La Nina may be back, meaning a drier winter and hotter summer. The result will be a greater demand for power-hungry air conditioners out west, where hydroelectric power accounts for 20% of California's electricity and more than 50% of Oregon and Washington's.
We also recognize that the problem is not just a California problem. It is not a Western problem only. It's a national problem.
At a meeting of 10 Western governors in Portland, new Energy Secretary Spencer Abraham acknowledged the crisis, but said the federal government will not immediately step in. The governors had pressed the Bush administration to intervene and order a cap on wholesale power prices, which have risen dramatically in recent months.
I'm very disappointed. I think that's a very insensitive position for the millions of people throughout the western United States, millions who are facing huge increases in their utility bills.
Many of the governors say the West is being literally left in the dark by the Bush administration. California Governor Gray Davis says the real test will come this summer.
We need to conserve more than we ever had this summer. We will not get through the summer without a very considerable effort on the part of every citizen and every business in this state.
Skyrocketing power prices have already led to layoffs in several western states. The governors fear the economic impact has only just begun. And so far, the only short-term solution anyone in the region has come up with is to use less power. Neil Karlinski, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In news overseas, large-scale American aid arrived in India today. U.S. Air Force C-17 cargo planes delivered water tankers, forklifts, and emergency supplies to help the victims of last week's shattering earthquake. 70 bodies a day continue to be pulled from the rubble. There are fears the death toll could reach more than 30,000. 600,000 are said to be homeless. A dangerous near miss over the skies west of Japan has resulted in a police investigation. One of 2 air traffic controllers involved in the incident was a trainee. He told the wrong plane to descend, bringing it just 33 feet from another plane. 42 people were injured on Wednesday when the Japan Airlines Boeing 747 dived to avoid a Japan Airlines DC-10. The world's first hand transplant patient is recovering from an amputation tonight. British surgeons removed Clint Hallam's transplanted hand last night, 2 years after an international team attached it. Doctors say Hallam's body rejected the transplant because he ignored required medical treatments. Hallam says he is not to blame for the transplant failure. Still ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday, the new president's recipe for domestic détente. A new device may help skiers survive an avalanche. And how this man is scoring points on and off the ice.
This is World News Tonight, Saturday. Brought to you by Gateway.
Most people don't know that in the last 10 years that Gateway's helped 1 million small businesses. True economic growth comes from those small businesses. They're the ones making it happen. Gateway's always been about the direct relationship with our customers. We're local. We have people right there who can help you with your business solutions. Over the next few months, we're going to show you what happens when small businesses get the power they deserve.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
I should have used Preparation H.
New Preparation H medicated wipes with aloe, the easy way to cleanse, cool, and soothe. Easier because they're 4 times bigger than Tux pads. New Preparation H medicated wipes. Big relief.
Menopause affects you in more ways than one. That's why Caltrate Plus Soy does more. It has soy isoflavones to help ease the effects of menopause and the calcium you need to help fight menopausal bone loss. Caltrate Plus Soy, the Caltrate for menopause.
Looking for a great value on a great car? It's time to check out Oldsmobile, because right now you can drive with the confidence of a 5-year, 60,000-mile General Motors protection plan. An offer that's good on every new 2001 Oldsmobile. Plus, qualified buyers can finance a new 2001 Oldsmobile with 0 down plus 0 interest and payments until 2002, which makes Oldsmobile the smart buyer's choice. It's one of our best offers yet. I'm ready. See your local dealer today.
There will always be skeptics. You know them. They say it will never work. Never happen. Never fly. But the next time they tell you all the logical reasons why it can't be done, just remember all the times that they have been wrong.
In politics tonight, as the new White House gets into gear, there had been some question whether a Bush tactical weapon that worked pretty well in Texas would fly in more politically savvy Washington, D.C. Well, there's not much question now. As ABC's Terry Moran reports, the charm offensive is making for some strange political bedfellows.
This week, George W. Bush and Teddy Kennedy were the talk of the town, Washington's newest odd couple. The Republican president and the nation's leading liberal have met 5 times since the inauguration, including a private dinner Bush had for several of the Kennedys to watch the new Cuban Missile Crisis movie, 13 Days.
And if one isn't occurring to us, it's because we haven't thought hard enough.
President Bush's courtship of Senator Kennedy is more than good manners. It's a political approach that has come to define his young administration.
Trust remains the coin of the realm in Washington. If Democrats come to believe they can trust George Bush's word and that his smile is genuine, they're going to be much more likely to work with him on those issues where they can find common ground.
The tactic is typical of Bush, say Texans who for years have watched him leverage his sunny temperament into political victories.
This is exactly what George Bush did when he became governor of Texas. I think his motivations are both partly political and partly genuine.
Democratic Congressman George Miller of California, who has been one of the Bush charm offensive's prime targets, meeting with the president 5 times since the election, says the encounters are not just fluff.
It's like sitting down to a poker game. There's a lot of chatter when you begin, and there's a lot of bantering back and forth. But eventually, you deal the cards and you start to play your cards. And it's a very serious business at that point.
The president's congeniality campaign continues on Sunday when he joins House Democrats at their annual retreat, an unprecedented appearance for a Republican president. But all this chumminess could get put to the test next week as Mr. Bush unveils his big and controversial tax cut. Terry Moran, ABC News, the White House.
And will the president's so-called charm offensive weather the stiffer challenges to face him in the upcoming weeks? That was the subject of a conversation with one of the most powerful Democrats in Washington. Connecticut Senator Christopher Dodd sat down with ABC's Linda Douglas.
So he met with you all. How'd he do?
Great. I mean, all the rumors about his charm are true. He's very engaging, and a new neighbor wants to be well received by the neighbors, and so there's a lot of that going on. The test will come down the road, and so we'll have to see now when we get to the tough issues. And we're going to face some tough ones. At some point, Supreme Court nominations, energy policy, environmental policy, the tax cut when it comes up. So I don't, we'll see whether or not the charm and these good feelings will also work when it comes down to resolving some issues that are going to take some real compromise where there's some real differences.
What do you think about all the visuals that he's provided us with African Americans? He's appointed blacks to very high-level positions in his cabinet. He went to a black church. What do you think those images are doing for his image, if anything?
Well, it certainly helps, but you've described it very aptly. They're symbols. And there was a time, maybe, in American politics when that would be enough for members of the African-American community or the Latino community or women to surround yourself with a few appointments that represented diversity of race or gender. But if this president thinks that these constituencies are going to be somehow satisfied that he is concerned and willing to deal with the issues that are profoundly important to them by merely appointing women, blacks, and Latinos, he'll be sadly mistaken. You can appoint all the women you want, but if you decide you're going to try and overturn Roe versus Wade, Mr. President, you have got a very serious problem. Or if you appoint judges to the Supreme Court particularly that are determined to overturn Roe versus Wade or undo affirmative action, then you will be in for great, great difficulty. And all the photo ops, all the visits to churches, all the people you have in your cabinet, all the wonderful people you invite to the White House will not mean much at all.
Let's switch subjects here to the most painful area between the Democrats and the new president, and that was the John Ashcroft nomination. You were one of 8 Democratic senators who voted for John Ashcroft, even though most Democrats felt deeply, not just because of interest groups, but deeply, that he was the wrong person to be the Attorney General. Why did you?
Well, I don't think he was the right person to be the Attorney General either. I would have hoped that the President might have named someone else. The fact that he did swear on a Bible to Almighty God that he was going to uphold the law, even where he disagreed with it. What else am I going to believe at that point, where there's no record to the contrary that he didn't when he was Attorney General in Missouri, that I felt he deserved a vote? Let me just say about, this is maybe why I'm maybe a little different than others, I suppose. We're all a product of life experiences. I've watched people get hurt in a political process. And I don't mean this would apply this to a Supreme Court nominee or a district court nominee, but for a cabinet level position or an ambassadorship. I hate to see the payback politics, sort of destroying people almost for the sake of destroying them.
A conversation with Democratic Senator Christopher Dodd. Still ahead, how to survive almost an hour buried under an avalanche of snow.
If you have arthritis pain, there's reason to celebrate. It's Celebrex.
Celebrate, celebrate, come on and celebrate.
Powerful 24-hour relief from osteoarthritis pain and stiffness. Celebrex, the first arthritis medicine that targets only the COX-2 enzyme.
Celebrate, celebrate, come on and celebrate.
Celebrex should not be taken if you've had aspirin-sensitive asthma or allergic reactions due to aspirin or other arthritis medicines, or certain drugs called sulfonamides. In rare cases, serious stomach problems such as bleeding can occur without warning. Tell your doctor if you have kidney or liver problems.
Celebrate, celebrate, come on and celebrate.
Ask your doctor about Celebrex. Celebrex, the #1 selling brand of prescription arthritis medicine.
Celebrate, celebrate, come on and celebrate.
Indoors or outdoors, you should see your best.
Right now at LensCrafters, complete pairs of prescription glasses or sunglasses are only $99 each. Why not get both? The $99 indoor-outdoor sale. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Are you picking up Stephanie?
Sure.
I'll go get her.
Why are you here?
Shut up. Hey, ladies.
2001 Big Montero. Now with a low APR that can save you thousands. Who believes Crest Multi-Care Whitening really works? They do, of course. All the protection of Crest Multi-Care will also help whiten with every brushing. Crest Multi-Care Whitening. Take your healthy smile all the way to bright.
I hate this cold, dry weather. Makes my scalp itch worse.
That's scalp stress itch.
When I blow dry, my scalp itch gets intense.
That's scalp stress itch.
Days like this, what an itch.
That's scalp stress itch. And this is what stops it. Scalpicin. Clean, unscented, medicated to stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
Julia Roberts.
Marry me.
And Cameron Diaz in the blockbuster smash.
That's our maid of honor. She's from New York.
My Best Friend's Wedding tonight on ABC.
Memorial services were held at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire today for the two professors murdered last week. Students and colleagues gathered to remember Haf and Suzanne Zandhope. The popular couple came from Germany and frequently traveled overseas. Law enforcement officials say the murder investigation has now expanded to other countries. Each year, avalanches claim about 40 lives in North America. Most victims die from suffocation. But as ABC's Bill Rediker reports, a new technology may improve the odds for those avalanche victims.
All along this Utah mountain range, signs warn of the danger. This is avalanche country. And this winter, it is particularly dangerous. The U.S. Forest Service says heavy accumulations of snow from recent storms have failed to stick to the much weaker underlying layer.
When it gets to be thick enough and big enough, it's going to want to let go when somebody tries to cross it.
Still, that has not discouraged backcountry enthusiasts, many of whom rely on the latest survival gear, including the Avalon, a vest that enables an avalanche victim to breathe under snow because even the most dense snowpack contains more than 60% air.
The Avalon is a very simple device that extracts air from the snow. You inhale through a mouthpiece located underneath the collar, like this.
Most victims have only about 15 minutes before asphyxiation begins and they suffocate.
The most critical thing is that the Avalon diverts expired carbon dioxide around to your back so you don't contaminate the airspace in front of your mouth.
Keep coming with the snow.
To see how much more time the Avalon provides, Rob agrees to be buried alive. For nearly an hour, he breathes through the vest. Doctors monitor his vital signs and communicate by intercom.
Rob, are you okay?
Okay.
Once he is finally dug out of the icy tomb, he is okay.
How you doing, Rob?
Cold.
The $200 vest allows a victim to survive 6 times longer. Still, given the enormous power of an avalanche, the only sure way to survive is to avoid avalanche country in the first place, no matter how tempting its challenge. Bill Rediker, ABC News, Alta, Utah.
Still ahead, taking the term being your own boss to new heights on ice.
Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around, love is in the air, every sight and every sound. Love is in the air, love is in the air.
Looking good, babe.
Love is in the air.
Pinpoint precision. That's what you can expect from K2's Wix Furniture Neighborhood WeatherNet. It's a network of weather stations strategically positioned to track vital weather data from diverse microclimates. From Vancouver to Salem, Beaverton to Gresham, you are in the net. K2's Wix Furniture Neighborhood WeatherNet provides specific targeted weather information. The point is, you get a more accurate forecast.
The Wix Furniture Neighborhood WeatherNet, another powerful storm tracking tool, and you'll see it only on K2 News.
Try it both ways. Most dancers are afraid of losing a step. After I had my stroke, I was afraid I'd never dance again. Now I take Bayer aspirin every day, like my doctor said, to help prevent another stroke.
Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
And when my body is sore, I take extra strength Bayer. It's that strong. It's great to be back.
Bayer. Take it for pain, take it for life.
We are healthy, strong, energetic, even sexy. We drink Ensure when we can't eat nutritious foods like these. Ensure has vitamins and minerals like in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. From Ensure High Calcium to Ensure High Protein to Ensure Plus, it's a source of complete balanced nutrition so we can get the most out of life. Ensure, drink to your health. And now Ensure is richer, creamier, and tastes better than ever in delicious new tastes.
Indoors or outdoors, you should see your best.
Right now at LensCrafters, complete pairs of prescription glasses or sunglasses are only $99 each. Why not get both? The $99 indoor-outdoor sale. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Women are throwing away an amazing product and their skin looks better for it. Olay Daily Facials Cleansing Cloths. you get superior cleansing and improved skin condition. Olay Daily Facials, proven to cleanse and exfoliate like a facial.
The road is long.
See the story behind the smiles inside the Osmonds Monday 8, 7 Central on ABC with a special appearance by the real Osmonds.
In college basketball today, the nation's #1 ranked team, Stanford, lost its first game of the year. The Cardinals' 20-game winning streak was snapped by UCLA, the same team that broke Stanford's winning streak last year. Finally, tomorrow, hockey legend Mario Lemieux will become the first ever owner-player to compete in a National Hockey League All-Star game. His remarkable journey from the ice to the owner's box and back again is unprecedented. And since he began playing again for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Lemieux has sold out every arena in which he's played. Here's ABC's James Walker.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux.
It's as though Mario Lemieux never left the ice. 5 weeks into his comeback, he's scored 16 goals in 16 games with 16 assists.
I had a lot of confidence in myself that I could come back and play well.
And Lemieux shoots and scores, and there's the hat trick.
As his fabled number 66 is brought back into action, the legendary superstar says he's back on the ice out of his love for hockey and a chance to share that love with his 4-year-old son, Austin.
He was born at 2 pounds 5 ounces. He was born 3.5 months premature, and there were some tough nights where it was touch and go.
Lemieux returns to hockey at the age of 35. Will his legs stand up in this grueling sport? Will his wrists have the same snap that earned him 6 scoring titles? Within a minute of his first shift on the ice comes the first clue. Super Mario picks up an assist. In the second period, he scores a goal, then adds another assist to lead his team to victory.
Considering that I've been off for a long time, I'm satisfied with the effort that I had out there.
Lemieux has 3 most valuable player titles, 2 Stanley Cup championships, but he's also respected for his immense courage. Twice during his career, he was sidelined, once with back problems so severe the trainer had to lace up his skates, and again during a bout with Hodgkin's disease, a form of cancer.
Even during the radiation, I was thinking of coming back and trying to regain the lead for a scoring title.
In 1997, after 13 years with the Penguins, he retired, saying he was worn out and that he didn't like all the dirty play. Then in 1999, with the franchise facing bankruptcy, he came up with a plan to keep the team in Pittsburgh. He bought it.
And I'm so excited that he's come back because it seems like the whole town is like cheered up.
Now Lemieux is owner and player, unheard of in modern sports history. On the ice, the boss takes orders from his employee, the coach.
As long as I'm going to feel good and be able to play this game well, I'm going to stay here and continue doing it.
With Lemieux back, the Penguins are again contenders for the Stanley Cup. But his inspiration and value as a role model, that's hard to measure. James Walker, ABC News, New York.
And that's our report for tonight. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us here at ABC News, have a great night and a great weekend.
Sunday, Colin Powell, war hero, role model, Secretary of State. An exclusive interview with one of the country's most admired men. Sunday only on This Week.
The NHL All-Star Game presented by Nortel Networks. The AFC NFC Pro Bowl. ABC Sports All-Star Sunday. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.